Welcome back to another first impression, this time for the anime Onmyo Kaiten ReBirth of Verse. Now we have the synopsis from Analyst. It is too long, didn't read, don't care. Essentially, we have our main guy who is a delinquent high schooler named Takeru Narihira, our boy in the middle. And we have our main girl Tsukimiya at the back. And Takeru, he's living in our world. He's like a delinquent, always fighting. He has an accident and he gets transported into an alternative version of Heian-kyo, the old name for Kyoto. Now this alternative version is a little bit different. It is old school with like clothing. Some stuff is missing. However, they do have like modern parts. They have like something like a smartphone. They have like cloud cars, they call it, flying cars. It is very weird. Again, it's a little bit weird. Now in that world, we do have like these onmyo techniques. That is, let's just call it magic techniques. Now, Takeru, in our world, he had dreams where he met Tsukimiya a couple times. Always in different circumstances. He got helped by Tsukimiya. He was like, oh, I'm gonna get stronger and I promise to help you when you are in danger. Now he gets into this alternate version of Kyoto and he's meeting Tsukimiya. Now she doesn't know who he is because alternative version. And this is more or less where the isekai part comes in. And in this world, there's something called the Black Mist. So every now and then there's like a black mist forming. In that black mist, all the people get more or less transformed into statues or encased in some kind of crystal. And the Onmyo techniques or the Onmyoji sorcerer go in and fight the Oni is called, the monster that is inside that black mist, and try to defeat them to then dissipate the black mist and everyone is saved. That is the idea. Now, there's a lot of stuff going on in the show. First off, I do not like the main character at all. I dislike him a lot. Now he is like this typical, very, I wouldn't say aggressive, but he has a very short fuse. He's very in your face. He's very prone to fight because this is how, what he knows. Problem is he sucks at fighting. He's not even good at fighting. He was good in the old world for some reason, but in this world, not good at fighting. We see him fight a couple times. He's fine. He's not good, which is okay. Now, he doesn't turn into the crystal when he goes into the mist. And naturally, he's the MC, so he has special abilities. Now, Tsukimiya, she seems fine. She seems like a very nice young lady. She seems helpful, cool. We have this guy who's like the leader of the sorcerers, whatever. He seems to plan something. He feels a little bit evil or self-serving. You know how it is. He's the leader of the group. Those are always depicted as a little bit calculating. We also have some other characters which are fine. I do like the blonde guy. He seems pretty good. He's very upfront. He's very, stoic. I like him quite a bit. A lot more than our main character. Ignore the little hamster. This one doesn't get acknowledged at all. So forget about this guy. Now I watched the first 3 episodes. Now there's some, 2D animation, which was fine. This show, at least the fights with these enemies, is mostly 3D. The 3D looks pretty good. Pretty enjoyable 3D. No complaints here. And I can understand why you would do this, because it's more or less like a mech fight, essentially. Because this is where we get into some of the problems. Now, our guy can go into the mist. He doesn't get turned into crystals. He can now fight these Oni. Now, the Oni are not like humanoid. They are like mechs. Enemy mechs. They are as big or tall as a building. And the Onmyo, what they do, they form pairs and more or less have like their own mech that they then pilot to fight the Oni. So, our guy, not only can he go into the mist, he is also like, he has super healing, or is like, he is nearly immortal because he can take damage, he can heal the damage, which is like, okay, this is his quote-unquote ability, because is it an isekai? I don't know. However, he has that ability to heal. So he can take damage, he can tank a lot of stuff and heal it off, which is fine, okay. Additionally, he can transform himself into, similar to like the mechs, or part of his body into like part of a mech. They do look very similar to Oni whenever he transforms, so he can fight the enemies that way as well. So he's not only, he has super healing, whatever, can tank a lot of damage and heal it off. He can transform into this monster creature thingy to fight these Oni. He then naturally is going to learn these Onmyo techniques, I guess. He then also can go into these mechs and fight in those as well, and then he can transform part of the mech into these Oni creatures. And additionally, because that was not enough, he can time travel. So I feel like they were like, okay, we have a bunch of ideas, we throw everything against the wall and see what sticks. And instead of taking what, stuck, they were like, you know what? How about we take all of them? We do have this here. And himself to find him back. He puts together that he has the power to go back in time. Now the time travel power has some interesting aspect. He doesn't get transported back in time where he was, but a little bit further back in time, which means the next time he could potentially go back in time further. I don't know. However, it feels like we are going, we have like a bunch of different shows in one. We have like the kaiju, we can transform stuff. We have like a Power Ranger thing with the mechs. We have like ReZero with time travel. It's like, what is going on? Especially because we time travel and stuff changes. Why does stuff change? It's a little bit strange that, specific stuff has changed and should not have been possible in a way that got presented. One of the things is that we go back in time, stuff happens, there's another black mist outbreak with an Oni. Now, blonde guy and purple-haired girl, they are like a team. They go in, they fight this monster, and seemingly purple-haired girl gets, pushed out. Blonde guy seemingly is trying to do a suicide attack. Now, our guy comes in and does some bullshit because he's the MC and we need to have that happening. However, if he was not there, which he was not previously, it feels like that they insinuated that the blonde guy would more or less do a suicide attack. He would have then died, which means that he would not have been there in the future where we were at the first time. So stuff changes for no reason, which is like, you can't do that. If you do time travel, you do have to, stuff stays the same, or you give us a reason why stuff changes. Now, all of these things again, our guy is nearly immortal. He can transform into monster. He can go into the mech. He learns these Onmyo techniques. He can travel back in time. He can transform part of the mech into into his monster form, whatever it is. And we have like a couple attacks. Again, goes at least back in time once. And all this in 3 episodes. Stuff happens in episode 3 as well. No need to mention that. And it's like, what are we doing? We're just rushing through. We are throwing everything in. It would have been totally fine. He comes into this world. He is nearly invincible. He has the ability to transform, and maybe a couple like 5-6 episodes later, he can go into the mech and help this way. And then like 2 or 3 episodes later, we get to find out he can go back in time. That would have been a far better progression than do everything now. Because I'm assuming, I don't know how the story continues, but I'm assuming we are going to go back in time a couple more times, maybe always a little bit further back. And it's like, and stuff changes because reasons. We probably get to find out that someone is changing the stuff, someone is controlling all of these happenings. It's a mess, I have to say. It doesn't help that I do not like the main character. He does feel a little bit like Byakugan from My Hero Academia. Not as angry, but you know, short fuse, very straightforward, not really using brain. Why use brain if fist are enough type of character. The 3D fights, they are pretty good. They are enjoyable. You can work with that, but outside of that, I feel like it just is a mixed bag of a bunch of abilities and stuff that is happening. Anilist gave it 62%. My enemy list 6.53. I have to say, it's a 6 out of 10 for me, the first 3 episodes. I don't believe it's going to get much better for me. It could creep up, but we just got thrown so much stuff in here that is like, okay, let me say it like this. A lot of mysteries, the main guy, Klein, he has less abilities as this dude has. It's like, ow. Klein has like 1 million abilities, and this dude has more stuff happening. It's like crazy, and this in episode 1. So yeah, cannot really recommend this one.